don't know if we're going to have much of a chance to do like a holiday edition podcast. So this is our episode to talk about all things holiday. Maybe not all things holiday. We're talking about the holidays today because we have guests set up for some of our other episodes. And I am just like so excited because I have some holiday traditions from around the world that I hope Lisa has never heard of before. We're going to be talking about holiday traditions that we do at our house, and then also some things that we can do to just survive the mayhem that is Christmas and Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving's over, but all of that madness. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yay.
Okay, so the first one, you might have heard of this one. Have you heard of the pickle ornament that people put on their Christmas trees?
No.
Okay, so this was like really popular a while ago, and even if you went to like the Dollar Tree a couple years ago, they even had little pickle ornaments. So it looks like one of those glass ornaments, but it's a pickle. You can find them at like Hobby Lobby and stuff, and there's always like a little card attached to it that says this is a holiday tradition in Germany and whatever. So people buy them and they put them on their tree. So according to the internet, this is a German tradition. You put it on the tree, I guess, Christmas Eve. The first child to spot the pickle on the tree Christmas morning, they either get a prize or they get to open their present first. Like everyone has to wait until they open their present.
That's so fun.
Yeah, so it's just like this little bumpy pickle. It's not that it's cute, and I've seen them around. I might have had one at one point. I'm like, oh, what a fun little pickle tradition. So as I'm digging through the internet and I'm looking up this tradition, apparently 91% of Germans don't even do this. Like they don't even know what this is. If you go to a German and you're like, hey, we have a pickle on our tree, they're like, okay. They don't know what it. So I think what happened, because it's 91% of Germans don't do this, it's like one random family started doing this, and like this one like thread of German family like does it. And then someone in America found out about it and was like, oh, this is a big German thing. Everyone does it.
It's a big deal.
It's like some random guy who lives down the street who does it, and everyone thinks he's weird. And it took off. So, I thought it was funny because I've seen them everywhere, and I'm like, oh, the pickle, yes, like that's like a big thing. It's a big deal. It's not a big deal.
That's so funny. So actually, that reminds me, so my family's French, and so we do something called la galette des rois. It's so cake for the king, or cake of the king. And so when you buy a cake, like they will put like a little figurine. Like,
I know what this is.
Cake. And then like everybody gets a piece, and like nobody knows where it is. And so like the first person to like, accidentally like almost choke on figurine, they're like the king of the day or of the dinner or whatever.
Yeah, it's like just like a little figurine, and it's always just big enough to choke on. Like they just like shove it somewhere in the cake.
Yeah, like they're like somebody's gonna die today.
What probably happened was probably some wife had just had it with her husband, and she's like, that's it, I'm putting this thing in the cake. And then like somehow they had guests over and she had to cover, and she's like, oh no, you found the prize, hooray. And then she had to cover. Yeah, so some woman out there was trying to murder her husband.
Oh my god, just scorned women, I tell you. Dangerous.
Okay. The next one is from Mexico, and this is Radish Sculptures. Have you ever heard of this? No, I've never heard of this. So it's kind of like when people take apples and they carve like an old man face into the apple, and then they make like a body for it. Maybe this is just all weird New England stuff, because Lisa's looking at me like I'm crazy. If Lisa ever comes to New England, she's gonna be like, y'all are witches up here.
I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I would totally carve an old man face in an apple. That sounds cool.
So yeah, people, well, let me just read it. I'll just read it word for word. So this century-old holiday is celebrated every December 23rd in Mexico. The tradition began when merchants tried to attract shoppers on their way to and from the Christmas church services, and they would make these intricate vegetable displays. So the merchants would carve radishes into like people or animals or other decorative shapes. And sometimes people would buy them and they would make them their centerpieces for their holiday table. So yeah, they were trying to sell something and they came up with a creative way to do it. And now it's just become a thing. And yeah, you can get a radish sculpture that looks like a little man or
I love whittling. So a really long time ago, my family and I went to Maine actually we got like a cabin in Maine and stuff, and it was cool. And then I like taught myself how to whittle, and so like I found like a stick outside. I can't even remember, like I can't even believe I remember this because it was so long ago, but I was a little kid. But yeah, I spent like an hour whittling. So I mean, I liked it. So hey, maybe I'll whittle a face into a radish, next time at the grocery store, like, and I'll show it to Paul and he'll be like, what's wrong with you?
He's like, is this a voodoo doll? Like, what are you doing?
Lots of things are wrong with me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's like something is very wrong. I need to call the doctor. He's making people out of vegetables. Yep. I mean, it's funny. Okay, so this one, this kind of ties back to the pickle one because like somebody said it was a tradition, but it really wasn't. So this is KFC for Christmas in Japan. Okay. Wow. So in 1974, KFC ran this big ad campaign in Japan called Kentucky for Christmas. And their whole spiel was how us Westerners, it's like a honored tradition to have Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. Like everyone does it. It's like turkey for Thanksgiving. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. Like everyone does it. And it just totally stuck. And everyone in Japan, well, not everyone, that's a big statement, but Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas is so popular in Japan now because this ad ran and everyone just bought it that people will put their orders in like months ahead of time just to make sure they get it because it's so popular. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. I normally have like ham or something, but that's just another episode of someone saying, hey, this is a tradition. And then someone totally buying it and being like, actually, no.
Oh my God. That's one hell of an ad campaign. Like, do you want to be like Americans? Like, do this.
Eating our deep fried chicken.
Oh my God. I mean, I love KFC. Like I really do, but I can't see myself like eating it for Christmas dinner.
No, like, you have your nice table spread and like the fire's going in the background and you pull out the bucket. It just
like you buy a bunch of those like chicken bowls. It's like mashed popcorn and like, popcorn chicken and it's like a bunch of biscuits.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do love their biscuits.
Yeah.
And if you listener want to have KFC for Christmas, you go for it. Like
let us know.
But it's just not a big American. I mean, maybe it is an American thing. I'm just up here in New England, just totally unaware of making whittling my little apples. Okay, so my last one. Okay, this is so good. I really hope you haven't heard of this. This is in Spain. It's called, now word for word translation, the pooping log. Have you? No? Okay. No. So it's in Barcelona, Spain. Okay, so you can look this up on YouTube later. And once you look it up and you see it, you'll never unsee it. Like it's just, it will change your life. Okay, so they get this log, okay, and like there's like no branches on it, whatever. It's just a log, and they'll hollow it out most of the way, but they'll leave like one side like closed, like a lid almost. And on the side that's closed, they'll paint a face, and it has like two eyes and like a nose and a smile, and they'll put like a little red hat on it, okay, and then it has like two. It's so weird. I've never seen anything like it. It has two legs like on the front, so it sits at an angle because the two legs are propping it up, and the hollow end is at the back. Okay, and so I guess throughout the week of Christmas, kids will feed it like scraps of food. Okay. Huh. Lisa's face is like, where's this going?
Where's this
They feed it scraps. They feed it scraps of food, and then on Christmas Day, the kids will gather around and they'll get sticks and they hit the log and they sing a song. It's like happy birthday. Like everyone knows this song. Everyone knows the log song. And they hit it until presents poop out of the log. So like some point during the night, the parents scrape out all the food and put presents in the log, and hitting the log makes them fall out. And everyone does this, everybody. Like you can see pictures of people selling just piles and piles of these logs. And if you go on YouTube, you can watch kids feed it and presents will fall out.
It's like a piñata kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like a piñata. Yeah. So
that's so I'm gonna say it's interesting. I'll use the word interesting. I mean, I don't want to like, I'm not, if you're from Spain and you're like super offended because I'm laughing at you, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just, it's interesting.
Well, yeah, like people might look at us and be like, why are you putting candy inside socks? Like, that's gross.
Yeah, like, why are you putting socks on your mantle? Like, socks go in the hands.
Yeah, they're special socks. Or like, how come some random old man breaks in your house and you just like let that happen and you encourage it, you celebrate. You really think about it. It's like, yeah, he's totally breaking and entering. Yeah, kind of creepy.
And then like just leaving things. Like he's breaking, entering, and just like leaving stuff.
And
then like eating your cookies and then like leaving.
If you ever get like a random package from someone you don't know who it's from, you never open it. Like you never keep it. But on Christmas, sure, yeah. Gimme.
Hey, this old man wants to buy me like a sweater. Like, cool, it's fine.
Sure. Random stalker person watching me while I sleep and knows if I'm being good or bad.
Like he has some list with my name on it and he checks it like more than one time. Fine, that's fine. That's okay.
Oh man. All right. So we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about our traditions that we do. Hopefully they're a little more accessible. I'm trying to be very careful with my word choice. Yes. So we'll be right back.
welcome back to the show. So now Brittany and I are going to share some of our family's traditions. And I also want to talk about, like, now that I have small children, I'm trying to come up with fun things to do with them. So yeah, so let's get into it. So Brittany, what are some traditions that you guys do?
Oh man. So having kids at Christmas is just like so fun. I love it. It's so much more fun. Like we had Christmases, just Mike and I, but it's way more fun now that there's kids. Like I want to see them happy. I want to see them laughing. Like it just, so fun. So something that we did when I was a kid that we do now with my kids is sometime during the Christmas season, it doesn't have to be Christmas Eve or whatever, we all pile in the car and we all have our pajamas on and we would stop at Tim Hortons and get hot chocolate.
Aww.
And we'd listen to Christmas music and we would drive around and look at all the Christmas lights. And it was just so fun. And now there's this house nearby, like 5 minutes from my house, that like totally like decks out for Christmas. They're like one of those crazy people who end up on the news, and you can get out and like walk around, and they have like every Christmas light or every little blow up character you could think of, and they hand out candy canes, and oh my word, it's just so fun. It's so fun. And you just pile in your jammies, just throw some boots on and a jacket. It's just, love it. I love it.
I think my favorite part about that might be the pajamas. Like I want to like be in my jammies all day and like eat hot chocolate or drink hot chocolate and just go look at lights, but like not in regular clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in my jammies. Like I love that.
cozy jammies. Like you could wear your Christmas jammies. Some people buy the family Christmas jammies. Like get them for that and like go out and look at lights and stuff.
Oh my God, family Christmas jammies.
You should do it. Okay, well, once you start doing it, though, you have to like keep doing it. So,
Paul's gonna be so mad. He's gonna be like, Lisa, I don't want to wear these crazy jammies, and I'm gonna be like, just do it.
It's for the girls, Paul. It's for the kids. Do you not love your kids? Oh, guilt trip. No. Oh my. Okay, so another one, and this one kind of has a funny story with it. So we would always, or almost always, go to one of those candlelight services at church. And recently for the kids, because they used to not give kids candles, which is smart. Like, don't give a kid a candle. No, thank you. They would give kids the little like LED light ones, which was kind of fun because then they could hold those. But we were at this church and it was weird. Like the auditorium, there was like half of it was like a low ceiling and the other half was like crazy high. And there were obviously like fire detectors and sprinklers and stuff everywhere because, you know, safety. So we're all standing around and they wanted us in a circle. So we're all standing there with our lit candles, real candles, and this old man across the hall, I see him and he starts having a moment while we're singing Holy Night and he's raising his candle and he's just like, he is feeling the spirit or something. And he's raising his candle and he is right next to one of those sprinklers. And I'm looking at him and I knew him. So I was like, hey, stay, get it. And I was trying to like motion, but not like cause a big scene, but like, get his candle. So it's like any second now, that sprinkler is going to go off and we're all going to be drenched. And I have my baby and then I have to walk to my car and it's Vermont and it's cold. I was like, so much stress. I was like, someone get him. Terrified. Oh man. The last one that we do, and I lose steam with this one about 2 weeks in. I'm pretty sure everyone does. We do Elf on the Shelf. So I'm telling you, 2 weeks in.
I haven't even like. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Like because that's the thing. Like if you start, you like can't stop because then your kids are gonna be like, hey, where's Elf on the Shelf? You know.
Yeah.
And
like, why didn't he move?
I've seen so many things like memes, like just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, like I like planned ahead and I have like a Pinterest board like with like 30 ideas. So I've got tons of ideas. And some people will even sell like a kit, like on Etsy. You can go online and buy a kit and they'll send you a box with all the supplies and it'll give you a list like, okay, day 1, do this, day 2, do this, day 3, do this. And it gives you all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you don't have to come up with the idea. Yeah. So yeah, by week 2, I'm just like over it. And I'm like, oh, why do I do this to myself every year? But I do. Before we had kids, Mike and I would hide it that like try to scare each other. So I would put it in like his underwear drawer, but with like a stick knife, and it would like, or like in the shower, or I would just put it in random places, and he'd be like, "You moved that, right? Like that was you."
That's
What? What are you talking about?
So I feel like for me, like Elf on the Shelf, like the thing that would ruin it is I'm like so forgetful. Like I'm like so forgetful. So like Lily every day she'd be like, "Where's the elf?" And I'd be like, "I don't know." And then I'd like run and be like, "Shit!" Like,
like quick, put it somewhere.
like Lily, I found it. Like, yeah, I didn't just do this right now. I promise.
Some people last year, or maybe it was the year before, they made their Elf on the Shelf quarantine for 2 weeks. I thought
that's clever.
funny, but also kind of cheating, but actually, yeah, kind of smart, because he had to sit in like a jar for 2 weeks before he could move around.
That's really clever, though. I mean, that's honestly like even if it's not quarantine, like I could totally tell Lily, like, "Oh, he's in a timeout right now."
Yeah, or he's taking a nap. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I just so I'm probably not gonna be one to do Elf on the Shelf, just because like I know myself, I'm gonna want to like be perfectionist, but then actually like not remember to do it, and so like I'm just gonna be guilty because I'm gonna be like, "Oh no," like anyway. So for me with traditions, we didn't really do much when I was growing up, actually. But one thing that we did do is, so we celebrated Christmas on Christmas Eve. So I think, and honestly, like that's probably my mom was like, "We'll just do presents like at night so that like she's not waking me up at like 5 a.m. Like, and now I'm like, there's probably something to that.
Smart thinking.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll probably want to continue that because I don't know, there's something about like it being like a special night and you have dinner and whatever, and you have like the big fancy meal, but then with little kids, you can't keep them up too late, and so like that's probably like a good, like maybe my mom like would have us do like Christmas Day, but then as I got older, like I could stay up later or whatever, but I don't know. So I might do that. Like maybe I just don't remember us doing it on Christmas Day, but like all of my memories are Christmas Eve, and so we do presents Christmas Eve. I mean, we have dinner first and then we like go around the tree and pass out presents and stuff. But yeah, so Christmas Day was from as like far back as I can remember, like it was just a regular day for us.
But then, you had a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of new stuff and I could just like play, actually, so funny story. So my mom one year, so I was finally going from like a twin size bed to a full size bed. And my mom, while I was sleeping, I fell asleep on the couch watching like Christmas stuff on TV. And while I was asleep, my mom rearranged my entire room, like with like new bookshelves and like a new bed frame and like stuff. And then she like put me in bed.
Oh my goodness.
And like I didn't wake up. And so like the next morning, and this was like a couple years after I stopped believing in Santa. And I remember this because like I felt like really dumb for like I woke up like in a new bed in a new room and I was like, what the hell? And then
I've been kidnapped.
I went to my mom and I was like, maybe there is a Santa. Because I just couldn't fathom that my mom just, while I was sleeping, just like, and like I was just asleep on the couch for hours. Apparently my mom, like it took her like all night. And so like she had like just put me back in bed and like an hour later I was like awake. My mom was like,
that is so cute.
Yeah. So I don't know. My mom kind of like would go all out like that. But yeah, that was one thing that stuck in my memory was, my mom just gave me a whole new bedroom for Christmas one year. I woke up in it and like, I can't believe I didn't wake up. Like
she was
a really deep sleeper.
It was like, okay, I remember trying to carry like my toddler from the car to the crib and I was like stealth mode, like ninja, and I couldn't do it. So how did she do it with like it must have been like 8 or 10 or something?
And yeah, so and the house we were living in, like it was one of those, it was a split level colonial style house. So it had like she had to go up like 3 mini staircases to like get to my room. And so like I'm like, how did you do that? Like I would like, if I try to do that to Lily, I would probably like bang her head on the wall a bunch of times and be like, sorry. So now that Lily's like, she's 2.5 and so she's getting older. And so I feel like I want to start doing some stuff, like start coming up with traditions. You know, because it's fun. Like you're right. Like kids on Christmas, like it's so fun. You like relive your childhood like through your children. And so like, you know, you get to relive the magic of Santa and the magic of Christmas, you know. So I still want to do like the like with Santa, like my big thing with Santa is like I want to teach Lily that it's like a group effort.
Yeah.
You know, so she shouldn't expect to get like everything she wants from Santa. Like, you know, like Santa will get a couple of presents for you, you know, if you're a good girl and whatever. But then like mommy and daddy will get you like other stuff, you know, so that she's not like, Santa didn't get me all these things that I asked for, you know. Like, whoa, like Santa's gonna pick 1 or 2 things that you want on your list. And then mommy and daddy will buy you more stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but I was thinking like to kind of continue the Christmas Eve celebration. Like we could do like mommy and daddy presents on Christmas Eve, and then Santa comes like that night, and then like so in the morning she wakes up.
That's cute.
Her presents from Santa. I don't know. It's just something I thought of because yeah, like I don't know, like maybe it's just because like I want some credit, but I'm like,
yes,
I want credit.
You totally, yeah. And then I even heard of something a few years ago, and it was someone posting online saying, stop telling your kids that like the iPad is from Santa, or I don't know, the Xbox, because I mean, yes, like, if you want to do that, like, yes, look what Santa brought you. It's so cool, because that can be hard for kids who come from more needy families who maybe Santa only got them a pair of gloves that year. You know what I mean? So there's definitely, yeah, a balance to it, you know, and yeah, like mom totally deserves credit because we go out there and we shop for the deals and we make sure that we order it on time off of Amazon.
And and if you're like me, you stare at Amazon for days, like with just pure anxiety and terror because you want to get the perfect presents for your kid and then you can't decide. And then your husband is like, Lisa, like, come on. Like it's been days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing's in my cart yet. And it's been like 4 days, but I want it to be perfect. And I start like having like I get a position and like rock myself because I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know. So yeah. But so that, and then I kind of wanted to, I think she's still too young for this, but I want her to like help us decorate the tree.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do it now, she's going to put all the ornaments in one spot. So if you're okay with that, go for it. But I'm telling you, she's going to put them all in the same spot.
I just, my thing is like, I think that, like seeing her with other stuff, like I feel like she'll just like break them or like she'll put them on the tree and then immediately take them back off the tree and then put them back on and take them back off, and it'll be like a big thing. So like I think we're gonna wait a little bit, but yeah.
Or get her own little tree, like from the dollar store, and like, this is your tree. You can have this.
I actually, so at Michael's, they sell like a felt tree with like felt like ornaments for like kids to like, you know, so I might just buy her that and have her decorate her own tree in her room. Like that'd be so cool. But we're also trying to save money these days. So like I keep coming up with ideas and Paul's like, stop it. But yeah, like when I was a kid, I helped my mom decorate the tree. I don't know when I started doing that, but yeah, I think like maybe next Christmas, Lily can start helping us do that. But this year, so Paul and I are, I want to like start doing like weekly date nights in kind of, because like we don't always like, I mean, we haven't been on a date outside of the house, like minus the weddings, like it's been like a hot minute. So, so I was like, I want to start doing cute things like that are cheaper, like in the house that are still like fun things for us. And so I told them I want to do a Christmas date. So for Christmas date, we're going to decorate the tree together, and then we're going to bake Christmas cookies and decorate them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I'm excited. He's not like a super artsy dude. Like he's not really into all that stuff, but he said he'd do it for me. So all right. Well, we are gonna take another quick break and then we are gonna talk about holiday survival tips. Because we need to survive the holidays. Like they're really
Yes.
fun, but they're also like crazy
They're
making.
also horrible. Okay, so we're back and we're going to be talking about holiday tips and tricks to survive the season. So these are not going to be like your typical like defrost your turkey 3 days earlier than you normally would or whatever. Like these are like mental health tips. And I think that
Those are the most important ones though.
yeah, because you can find all of the other ones on TikTok, and I'm not even going to try and compete with that right now, but I have some mental health tips. So number one, oh, actually, I have a list as to why the holidays can be hard. So first of all, just the endless hustle and bustle, like it's crazy. There's so many things to do, especially if you have school age kids, because you have this party and that party and this play you have to go to, and then they have a, I don't know, hockey game, whatever. There's like all the things. So that can be a lot, and it's very stress inducing. Sometimes, especially during the pandemic, you can be really stressed during the holidays because you might be isolated, you know, like you might not be able to get friends or family, and that can be really hard. Sometimes, you know, maybe you're just missing friends and family, like maybe they've passed on or whatever, like that can be really hard. I always tell people when they've lost someone close to them, your first year is your hardest year, like, and give yourself time and grace, and it will get a little bit easier, but your first year is like, it's a doozy. And then it's just mental health, general mental health is just hard. Like, and then you add the holidays on top of it, and it's just like, double hard. So number one is hard. You got to communicate, you know, which it's hard to do, but you got to talk with your friends and family about what events you can go to or what events you can host and what you can't. You know, you're just gonna have to be upfront and be like, I can only do one family activity this year, or
and that's so hard. And
it's hard because like you have all your aunts and uncles, and maybe even like your mom or your dad is like, oh, but we do this every year, and why aren't you coming? You know, you might just have to be the odd one out and be like, I'm sorry, I just can't. I can only do one thing. And even like volunteering at a school program, or you're trying to help with the cookie bake off or whatever, you can say, okay, I can only do this much, or I can't come to the bake sale, but I will provide cookies, or I'll bring some from the grocery store and put them on a plate from my house. So it's hard, but you've got to be able to communicate. And I think sometimes we think like the worst is going to happen, but most of the time that's not what happens. Like you think you're going to tell them, I can't come to the thing, I can't come to the party or whatever, I can't bring a pot roast, and you think they're going to blow up at you. They might not. So hopefully they don't.
So before this, like we always celebrated Christmas with my mom at my mom's house, and she lives in San Antonio. And so even with Lily, like we like did the whole trek to San Antonio and whatever, the road trip. And this year, Paul was like, there's two now, like this is not, it's not, we can't, like we have to, you know, if they want to see us, they can come to us. Like we have small children, like they have to understand that and whatever. But like it gave me so much anxiety because like my mom, she just expects it at this point. And actually, like, so when I told her, like I was really scared to tell her, like, hey, but she actually, like the other day we're on the phone and she was like, yeah, so you know, I'm good to spend Christmas with you in Dallas or whatever. And I was like, what? Like I like wanted to cry. Like I was like, it's a miracle. Like
like, I don't know if you're like me, but you think about how the conversation could go in like all 30 directions, and you run through all of those directions, and like, I'll say this, and then they're going to say that, and then I'm going to say this. And it's this huge mental load. And half the time, none of those even happen, you know?
Yeah.
So expect the best, you know, expect the best of people, especially now. I feel like mental health is becoming more and more talked about. You know, it's not, it's still a little bit of a stigma, but it's becoming a little bit less and less of a stigma. So that's good. I mean, yeah, you got to communicate your needs, and especially if you're getting overwhelmed. Here's another one that might help with that, and it's to get a advocate. So this could be like a significant other or like your bestie, and you tell them ahead of time. You're like, okay, I have this or whatever, or I'm really struggling mentally with this right now, or I'm really struggling emotionally right now, and I'm overwhelmed because blah, blah, blah. And then they go to the thing with you, like they go to the dinner or they go to the kids program, and like they can help advocate for you, so that if you're just like not doing well, like it's just not vibing and you need to get out, they can help you get an exit out, you know?
I love that.
Yeah. So they're like your advocate just for that event or just for that thing. And like, you can tell them like, I need a break. Like maybe they'll just take you out and like, hey, we're going to go run on, get a coffee run. Does anyone want anything? And that's your excuse to jump in the car, run, go get some donuts or something, get lost on the way home, you know, take an extra 10 minutes. Or if you have to leave, they can help you leave. They can help.
That's amazing. I love that idea. Just like a mental health advocate. Like we all need one of those. Like we all need
yeah.
Like yeah.
Often, like I can tell when Mike is like not doing so well, he's not doing so hot, but we have to go to an event for some reason. And I can tell like, okay, he's starting to go down. And he'll just kind of give me a look, and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a way out. And I'll find some way for us to leave, but not just like run out the door. Like, okay, bye. Like, I'll find some way, some excuse for us to leave. And because him on his own, like, I don't know if he could do that. He would probably just sit in a corner and sulk and be miserable for the rest of the time. But if I can be there to help him, you know, it gives him takes a little bit of the pressure off of him. Like he doesn't have to like act a certain way and like perform a certain way. Like, once he's done, he can be done. I love that. So I love that. Another one, so even though I just said like communicate and don't do as many events as people are telling you to, also it's a balance. Like you can't just isolate yourself either. You do need to do some kind of social activity as much as you feel like you can. Like if you think you can do 5 parties, go for it. But if you can only do 1, go for it. Like just do whatever you can handle emotionally and mentally, even if you have to like push yourself to get out the door, because getting together with other people while watching a Christmas movie, or you're taking the kids sledding with your neighborhood, like it really can boost your mood.
You just isolate yourself, you're just going to feel worse. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's a balance. And then the last one, it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but it's a balance. So also take time to carve out solo activities, like time when after the kids are in bed, you watch your favorite Christmas movie and you have your favorite ice cream.
Yeah, like I mean, that's not really contradictory, because like, you know, instead of like completely isolating yourself and like not seeing anyone, you're like making alone time, but then like you have like little moments of alone time, and then you go back to like, you know, spending time with other people.
Yeah,
I think
you need time to recharge.
Yeah, I like this whole balance thing. I love balance and trying to find balance with everything. Like I feel like, especially being a mom, like I need more of that.
Yeah. So yeah, you could be watching a movie. You could go for a drive while listening to the radio, like your favorite pop songs, and you're sipping like your favorite hot drink. You know, that can be some time alone. Or, okay, so this is something I do every year, and I hope my husband doesn't listen to this podcast because he will find me out. So my alone time is when I go and wrap Christmas presents, which I do actually wrap presents, but I love it because I can go in my room and I can lock the door and nobody can come in. Because I'm like, I'm wrapping presents for the girls. I'm wrapping presents for Mike. Yeah. And I just like, I have a coffee, I have like a podcast going, and I am wrapping presents. I'm probably going at like the 10th of the speed that I could be going, but I'm all alone. And anytime anyone knocks on the door, no, I'm wrapping presents. Busy, can't come in.
That's amazing.
Like,
I'm
so-
gonna do that. But like I feel like even like when the situation doesn't call for it, like it's not even like no special occasions, like no gift giving is happening. Like I'm gonna be like, I'm wrapping presents, don't talk to me.
I'm making a prize for you. A surprise. Can't come in.
I'm wrapping presents, go away.
Oh, it's so bad. And every year I do it. I lay everything out and I have all the wrapping paper and the tape and my coffee, and I end up just watching a show or listening to a podcast, and I just sit there on the floor for like an hour or an hour and a half. And it's awesome. No one can come in.
That reminds me of a really fun game. So this might make alone time even more fun. Make yourself a drink, and then take a drink every time you lose the scissors or you lose the
Oh, no. I'm always sitting on the scissors. I don't know how I haven't ended up in the hospital like needing stitches yet.
I feel bad because like Brittany's over there like being like all wholesome and like a really great mom and whatever, and I'm just like alcohol. I'm just like buy lots of wine, or like, you know, like I don't know, just yeah. I'm always, it's hilarious. I always seem to be like the bad influence. Like I feel like I'm the bad influence on this podcast. I promise I'm a good person. I just, you know, I mean, you know, you need lots of wine for the holidays. And I'm finally not pregnant this year.
Yes, this is true.
I'm like, Paul was laughing because he's like, but you're never not pregnant. So like, just give it time. I'm like,
stop it.
That on me.
Yeah, it's like you're sleeping in the guest room until after Christmas.
Put that on me, like don't do it, you know. And I mean, I told you I'm like I've been in withdrawal from my antidepressant this week, and so like it was also like I'm, you know, getting close to my time of the month. So like I was like, oh crap, like I was like,
it's gonna hit.
Like what's going on? And I was like freaking out because I was like, no, like I need to drink, you don't understand. Like I can't do this again. And then yeah, so I'm not pregnant. I'm just like having like hella withdrawal symptoms. So yeah, don't ever go off your antidepressant. Or if you do, go slower than you think you need to. Like really like snail's pace that crap. Like, you know, go down like 1 milligram at a time and like over a year, and then maybe you'll be okay. It's been an interesting week, guys. It's been an interesting week.
Well, like, because not only that, but Lily's sick, right? And weren't you guys kind of sick?
Like we're always sick. Like, and like the poor girls, like they've always got something. And the weird part is like this time, like this week, because of Thanksgiving, she didn't even go to preschool. Like, okay, so she didn't catch any, she couldn't have caught anything in preschool because she didn't go. And so I'm like, but why is she sick? Because we like never go anywhere. Like, yeah,
you like try and like track it, because that was the thing. I was trying to track it with another family member. I'm like, okay, where were you? Where did we go? Where did I go? How did we? It's like you get like a map and you're like circling things, and I don't.
And like that's what sucks about like COVID so much, is that like it's made us so paranoid about everything else. So like even if it's not COVID, even if it's like, you know, it's just a cold, like you're still like, oh my god, oh my god, you know. But it's like, it's just a cold. Like we, you know, people get colds all the time. But like I'm so like, it makes me so anxious now, and I just like I have all this like anxious energy like constantly, because I'm like, she has a cold, and where'd she get a cold? Who gave my baby a cold? When
you know, try and track it. I just get so anxious because the rules keep changing, and every time someone gets sick, we have to like reread the rule book, and it's like so long, and it's never an easy read, and you're like, just get to the part where it says what I'm supposed to do. Like just like scroll. I just anyway, go back and look at our mental health tips if you're stressed out about any of these things.
And I mean, you know, my tips, just you know, don't go to excess, you know, like just like I don't know, do my anxiety tips responsibly.
Slow and steady.
Just like drink responsibly. Don't like just decide to not take your antidepressant, whatever. I didn't just decide. Okay, guys.
This was a medical decision.
Yeah, this was a psychiatrist decision, and I followed the instructions. Okay. Like, my husband for a few days was like, did you stop taking it just because? And I was like, no, I promise. Like, don't yell at me. Anyway, it's been
I have a story. So my sister-in-law one year, we were passing out Christmas presents, and she's like, I totally got drunk while I was wrapping these presents, and I don't remember whose is whose. And we're like, okay, so we figured it out.
Oh my God.
For me, and I hope she's not listening because I'll feel really bad, but I don't think she would be listening. She got me a gift card to a store that I've been really, really wanting to go to. But because she was drunk, she wrote it down wrong. She like wrote the code wrong. And I never got to use it because she like wrote it funny. And I was like, ah, like I was so close. But I wasn't going to say anything. And I kept that code for like 3 years. And I would like try and like swap a letter. And I'm like, well, maybe this isn't a Y. Maybe it's an N. And I never figured it out. And I felt so sad.
Could she not have like checked it, or did she not have a...
I felt so awkward asking her, like, hey, my card didn't work. I let it go.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, I wonder why this number isn't working. And then I remembered like, oh yeah, she was drunk when she wrote this down. Okay, that's why. It's the thought that counts. She really liked me, so she got me a really nice card.
Yeah. Speaking of, you keep reminding me of stuff, and then I like feel the need to share. And so sorry, listeners, I keep going on tangents, but that's just who I am. Yay. Anyway, so Paul the other day, like because I've been having a really bad week with like my symptoms and withdrawal and whatever, he bought me flowers. And they were like really nice, like flowers. And like, he bought me like this little pie, and I love apple pie. Right. And so he bought these flowers, and then he like, I guess they were all sitting, like all these mini pies were like sitting in like a pile. And so he thought he grabbed the apple one. Uh-oh. And then when he came back, he realized it was a cherry one. I'm allergic to cherries. So, but I mean, if you know us, like that's the most us thing that could have happened. Like, I'm actually glad that happened because it was hilarious. Like, had it been just like flowers and like an apple pie, like it would have been like cute, but like not hilarious. Yeah. So, so I didn't eat my pie. But like the flowers were really nice. But like, I was like, and he was like, I could have sworn it was apple.
and then now you're going to remember that. Like, if you had gotten the apple, you would have remembered it for like a couple years, and then you would forget. But now you'll remember that. Yeah.
And then like, so basically my husband tried to kill me the other day.
Like she's having a week and I've had enough.
Yeah, seriously. Like I feel so bad though, because I've been like crazy pants. But anyway, so and then so I didn't eat the pie, obviously, but it was really nice. He like came by, I saw the flowers, and I just like broke down. Aww. And like just cried, and I was like, thank you. Like I didn't even say thank you. I just immediately like like but yeah, so bought me flowers and then a pie that I'm allergic to.
It's so great.
Oh, and then the same trip he was trying to like, he wanted to buy a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, and then he ended up like getting a sweet potato pie by mistake, which I didn't even know.
Okay,
they look the same.
Yeah.
And I think they taste similar, but like I don't know, like sweet potato pie, like it's a little sweeter, I think.
Yeah.
But he was like, man, I'm really bad at buying pies.
It is not his forte. Just like
I forgave him. It was, I was like, man, that's like the most us thing that could have ever happened. So, like, I'm actually glad that you bought me a pie I'm allergic to, because it's a funny story.
That's so cute. That is so cute. I love it.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this holiday episode, full of tips and fun holiday traditions, and just us being our ridiculous tangenty selves.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.